Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for joining today. I'm glad everyone could join us today. We're going to get started. I'm Lauren Schur. I'm the social media and content manager at TrueLook. I've been working in construction marketing for about 5 years now. But before we dive in, get started, just wanted to give a few quick housekeeping notes. The session is being recorded. So if you have to step away at any moment, feel free to, or if you want to revisit it later, we're going to be sending it over via email. And you'll be able to watch that. If you have any questions during the webinar, it is going to be a Q&A. We have pre-prepared questions, but feel free to drop any additional questions you have in the chat, and we'll try to get to them at the end of the session. So now the fun part, we're going to introduce our experts who are going to be joining us to share their insights and tips. We have two brilliant marketers in the construction industry joining us today. First, let's welcome Courtney Bondar, Digital Marketing Specialist at CG Schmidt. Hey, Courtney.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. Excited to have you. Will you give one fun fact about yourself and a quick snapshot of how you ended up in construction marketing?
Yeah, definitely. So my name is Courtney. I'm the digital marketing specialist at CG Schmidt, located in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Fun fact about me is I am a cyclist, so I spend most of my time doing that, or I'm in the gym. In the meantime, how I ended up in construction, very serendipitous. Family members of mine are in the trades, and so I heard construction, been told about construction. I have a subcontractor for a cousin who's actually working alongside my company. And so when I got the opportunity to apply and to be here at CG Schmidt, heard nothing but good things, and it all just aligned, and it felt like the right choice to make. So that's why I made the choice to be in construction, and now here we are almost 10 months later, and I'm thriving. I love it, and it's amazing. Couldn't expect any better than this, honestly.
Awesome. Yeah. And then we have another awesome marketer joining us today, Tyler Higdon. He's a construction tech specialist and marketing coordinator with We Are Constructors. Hey, Tyler, will you tell us a fun fact about yourself as well, and then how you ended up in construction?
Sure. Hope everyone's having a good day. My name's Tyler. Fun fact, brand new father. Wife and I welcomed a little boy not too long ago. He's 4 months old. So that's a fun fact. Got into the industry during a grad school internship. Really enjoyed hitting the ground running in all things marketing. Since I've been here, working with social media, graphic design, proposals, website, digital content, photography, drone work, and more. And it's been a privilege to help build our marketing department here at Weir alongside our business development leaders.
Awesome. Excited to have you guys. So as I mentioned, it's going to be a Q&A where I'm going to ask them a couple questions, but kind of what we're going to be talking about today. So as you all know, construction marketing is tough. You're normally balancing an audience who values trust, authenticity, while balancing polished brand standards and multiple different tactics, especially most of the time with a small team. So we're going to jump right into a few questions for our experts. Again, if anyone has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat and we'll try to get to them at the end. So first question, kind of a fun one. Tyler, I'll pass this off to you first. If you had to describe the state of construction marketing in 2026 in one word, what would it be?
Innovative.
That's an awesome word. For sure. Courtney, do you have a word?
I would say ever evolving.
Definitely things are always changing in marketing in general, especially in the construction industry. If I had to pick a word, I'd probably say automated. I think nowadays everyone's trying to find different ways to use AI to make their lives easier with marketing. And we'll get into that a little bit later in the discussion. But in your experience, we talk a lot about doing more with less. What are some of the things that's kind of like the less or that marketers are currently struggling with most? Whether that be like budget, time, headcount. Who wants to take this one?
Ladies first, Courtney.
Thank you. I would say time. There is a lot going on always, and there's always something new happening around the corner. With obviously like the age of AI and things that are evolving, time is something that we are probably all short of, and I can attest to that daily. There are multiple tasks, there are things I'm doing, there's integrations I'm using and collaborating with, and just day to day, I always kind of reflect and tell myself I wish I had more time on my hands. I wish there was more hours in the day to get things sorted, done, et cetera, the list goes on. So, it was a big wish of mine, if this could come true, to have more time, maybe more hours in the day if possible, but that's just the nature of construction and the nature of what's happening currently, especially within marketing.
Yeah, for sure. Tyler?
Agreed. It's time. It really is. I think with AI, you want to leverage it to save your time. I think if you have some automated processes that you can standardize and get the ground running on implementing those through AI and just do some future planning that way, then you can go back and review it, insert creative input, and go from there. I think it's leveraging time right now is our key asset with smaller teams.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely hear that marketers are expected to be like photographers, copywriters, data analysts all at once. And most of us aren't short on ideas, we're just short on time, resources. So we're going to talk a little bit more about challenges and how we overcome those. So Tyler, how has the job description of a construction marketer evolved in the last 2 years?
Well, you just mentioned it. Marketing as a role in general for any company wears many hats. You are doing, well, expected to do a lot. Within the construction industry, that has grown. You have more responsibility, more knowledge gap that's there, and more complex details to understand and also showcase that you're a knowledge expert on. I think the coverage has expanded with types of construction, whether you're a CM or GC or subcontractor, you're trying to position yourself to be a thought leader. And being in the marketing position, you have to kind of go above and beyond that, wearing those many hats. So it's definitely evolved and grown in responsibility.
For sure. Courtney, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I agree 100%. And Tyler is correct with that. I mean, currently, just within the age and how marketing has definitely evolved. I mean, smaller teams, sometimes between like 2 to 4 people, you are taking on a lot of different tasks and you are trying to complete the same, goal and objective. At the same time, you're being utilized in all these different avenues and trying to be, creative and produce a video, or you're trying to copyright, or you're doing this or you're doing that. So there's never a shortage of work. There's always a shortage of people. So
Yeah, for sure. So as a small marketing team, you guys kind of touched on this, but we wear a ton of different hats. So what hats does AI help you wear? And is there anywhere that you think you should not be using AI?
Yeah, so I can actually talk about this one first. So I graduated with a degree in journalism. And so when I was in school for journalism, AI is a big no-no. And at the time when I was in school, it was just starting to come around. People were very hesitant and didn't understand it quite clearly. But within my career, I mean, from being with different employers to being here at CG Schmidt, I mean, AI is used so differently and in different ways that I would say, like, I still write captions, I still write blogs, I still write stuff on the website. I'm still doing all the manual work and writing. And that to me is something that should always stay tried and true to a person, is to keep that human aspect, the human interest there always, because you can't really lose that, especially within your content, connecting with your audience, spreading brand awareness. Like, your brand voice and which direction your brand is going. And I often rely on AI just for like spell check or proofreading or reformatting, like long text, summary, like text that I have, and just splitting it up just to make it easier for me. So like when I have my, I would say like 15 different tasks happening, I can help like organize in that sense and not like rely on it to do the thought work for me, because depth comes from you as a person and how you write, not from AI typically. But once again, it's great for an integration to help you formulate stuff, to format this, to elevate like little bits here and there, or to help with like SEO. I do that for the website, helping with SEO and keywording. That's always a great one, because with AI integrations within Google and social media, for example, you're playing against all the different types of AI integrations that, it's getting more saturated. So to work with it, to help with those aspects, to help your brand grow, is great on that end.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's always funny writing captions with AI, like asking it to try to help with things like that. It doesn't understand humor. And I think that's the thing in our industry, is that a lot of people have personality and want you to be authentic.
Yeah.
And it's silly seeing what ChatGPT or Gemini comes up with if you ever ask it to be funny or have that kind of personality or brand voice.
Absolutely.
Tyler, anything to add there?
She covered a lot of the writing portion, proofing, organization. I think she touched on it, but analysis is huge. I think being able to pinpoint an area for a market that you're trying to identify and utilize that with your business development team and leadership, and having AI at your disposal to curate any sort of analysis that you all can go after, markets to pursue, clients to meet with, and different projects of procurement sites that you're wanting to be involved with, like, is so advanced that it makes your 1 week of doing this turn into one day. And it's very valuable.
That's awesome. Yeah, the analyzation part and kind of doing research has been
Mm.
really big for marketers in the industry. So, kind of on the same track there, but how do you build simple AI workflows, or how do you kind of work AI into your day to day tasks to make sure it's not creating more work for you?
Yeah, so I think you know, all of us marketers have our workflow. I know that I'm very run the mill as far as you have your creative ideas. Some point of the day, you have a lot more of your admin work that you do. And I think being able to streamline all of those different aspects of your day to day through AI really helps. I think within the past year or so, AI has gotten very intelligent to where if we're going after a certain project, you can plug in the RFP into chat or Claude or whatever platform you're using, and and also too, it's apparent that you need to showcase all the details from your side. Like, the more that you put in for your firm, the better results that it's going to spit out for that RFP proposal. So not only proposals, creating SOPs and operating procedures for different processes that the company has, quick data migrations or organizational tools to help get a project going quickly, and reporting back to leadership that it's almost done. Lastly, I think just being able to be a sounding board for content, like you mentioned earlier, is key. Hey, is this idea dumb? Or is this right along brand? I think that it's just going to keep going from there.
For sure. Yeah. Sometimes just typing in the simple, like, is this idea dumb? Does this make sense for our industry? Is helpful. It's just like another person to kind of, be a sounding board for
Yeah.
sure. Courtney, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Tyler. And like on the social media side of things, using like we use Copilot or ChatGPT, and also like just bouncing ideas or maybe streamlining like different ideas and like different things to like formulate into something greater in that sense, is often like typically like what I do for like a workflow, or like I will look into in that sense to like help generate more of, ideas and avenues that we could take directly.
Awesome, for sure. Yeah. So another kind of challenge that we're going to talk about is in construction, you want to get the authentic content, the content on site, but it's not always easy to be on site or every site, even, having multiple sites. So what is the best way for a small marketing team or even a larger one to capture marketing ready visuals without being on site? Do you have any tips for that, Courtney?
Yeah, so I rely on my team, and my team helps me in that sense. So even though I'm not on a job site, my coworkers and colleagues will often like help in that sense of gathering content or let me know that there's content happening ahead of time. But sometimes I can't always be there. However, we work as a team collectively to really like gather together to help each other out, to really expand on those ways to fill those gaps, so we're not feeling like there's a loss there, that we're all incomplete together.
Tyler and Dad there.
Yeah, shameless plug for TrueLook cameras. I think
Yep.
being able to pull up a active time lapse from an hour ago is key. But she mentioned it. Empowering your team, even from daily reports or construction documentation that you have, reality capture, empowering your team to learn how to take great photos for marketing. There's some tutorials out there that we share with our guys of, hey, can I get a landscape, wide angle of the exterior? Can you send that to me? I can't be out there all the time, and nor can our business development team. And so getting things in the interim is key. And then when I do show up, or our teams show up and do your cadence, photography, aerials, what have you, then you can just add and layer to that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Like, we use TrueLook cameras all the time too. I mean, I put together a really wonderful video with our TrueLook cameras at the West Dallas Central High School. And then I'm also sending my team too like a graphic of like, this is a horizontal and this is what it looks like. This is a vertical 9x16. This is what this looks like. To like really lean on each other, help each other out, and leverage those things. 110%.
Yeah, I think that's a key thing too with sending your team kind of tips since we can't be everywhere at once. I've had to do that a little bit with some team members going to trade shows of, sending them like, here's what kind of shots I want you to take. I think nowadays, like iPhones are empowering everyone to kind of be their own photographer. So yeah, they might not have like the marketer's eye, but there's always a way. I think, especially with construction, people want authentic content. So, and then love that you guys mentioned TrueLook cameras. We do hear from our customers that they often use the photos and time lapses that are taken from the cameras for marketing content, and then also sometimes embedding the live feeds on their website as well to try to get people to get more excited about the projects and see that. Any kinds of like drones, 360 cameras, I think those have been beneficial for our customers to get marketing content that way too.
Yeah, people like live feed content, whether that's like an Instagram live or even like watching like live construction. Those are the things that keep people coming back and growing an audience, and also just helping that understanding of like what's happening, because people are naturally curious. They want to know what's going on. I mean, I sit in front of windows all day, and like I'm often looking at like the nature that goes past my windows, like deer and birds and whatnot. But for the curiosity of the regular human being watching the TrueLook cameras and just seeing the progress and enjoying that with us and giving that understanding in another way is so beneficial.
Awesome. Yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit more about more ways to market well in construction. So another thing we've talked about is how construction is a high trust industry. So how are you guys focusing on gaining trust with your audiences through marketing?
Yeah, so we gain trust by pushing out our brand awareness and our brand credibility in many different ways possible, whether that be collaborating with partners during construction, post-construction, having that long-term relationship, showing all the different elements between construction and after construction, showing our brand in different ways. Like, for example, this week is Women in Construction Week. So we're building that credibility, building that trust continuously by highlighting these different avenues and factors and really welcoming our audience in to who we are, what our brand is, and how we grow with you too during that process. But also, for us, our tagline is building a better tomorrow today. So, building that trust with them during that project, even beforehand, during the pre-con, and then afterwards, even beyond the warranty. So that's how we continue, especially on social media, show those things without necessarily like telling them, but showing them in a way that they can help connect and help feel that, see that, and also live that as well.
Awesome. Tyler, how about you?
Yeah, I think it's integrity. It's, kind of propelling off of that. It's doing the right thing when no one's watching, making sure that your clients and your team can speak on that to heart. Transparency is key. I think showcasing a strong relationship with your client and building that trust from the beginning to the end of the project, like she mentioned, is paramount. Part of transparency is lessons learned. Hey, we own this certain aspect of what happened. Let's create a solution and go from there. But one thing I think too, a lot of businesses are implementing now, and at Weir, we definitely do this. Our business development team is top notch. They are ensuring that we're kind of like third party consultants to the project. Are we walking our talk? And a lot of that comes from the integrity that our team has and creating a cohesion with our project team and following that all the way through, like you mentioned, from pre-con to your warranty, and making sure that we're delivering what we say.
Absolutely. And also to like incorporate like brand values as well. We do that, we show that. I mean, no surprises is one of our things. Building on integrity, expertise, safety, sustainability, and caring about the client, caring about why, we're building that trust with you.
Yeah, exactly. So kind of switching gears a little bit, but what's one campaign or tactic that you've done that has surprised you with how well it performed? Tyler, do you have anything?
Yeah, I got one. So this was a few years ago, but within social media and digital marketing in general, you want to create that recognition, but you also want to springboard off of things that are happening locally. And I think if you can mesh the two, it's great. One example is we were doing a proposal for a new courthouse here in Kentucky. Well, we've had some relevant projects. We had some photos and some content that we could share on social. Let's just say we're submitting on Friday. We post our relevant experience on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday in that area. We boost it. We got a lot of eyes. And we ended up having some success. with those campaigns. And to be able to marry the two is key. I think you don't want to drop the ball on one component of you submitting a proposal, but you also don't want to just, you kind of want to create some relevancy where you're really wanting to pursue work and get some eyes. So that really worked for us.
That's awesome. It's great to hear. So I have a different question for you, Courtney. If you had to delete another fun one, all but one marketing channel, which would you keep for construction? So that can be anything from like Google Ads, social media, organic search, SEO. What would be
Oh,
your main one that you think helps you move the needle the most?
all but one. My goodness. I honestly lean towards the website, considering the fact that it's our main driver and has all of our content and it has everything about us on there as possible. Whether that comes from like the project spotlights to the blogs to the project profiles to all of the information about us and about our projects, about our team and our work. That's the channel that I would keep. My runner up, though, would be social media, obviously. However, the website is very telling and it is a driver and it leads people to who we are once again and also to our projects. So that really just emphasizes and shows there. But also, too, like, even if I did have a second pick, I would say social media, just because in the digital age currently, we have a lot of people that are getting their information via social media. So that is a consistent driver of, once again, alongside the website, and connecting those two together is really going to leverage and really going to help support you, your team, and your company in that sense to gather a younger audience or returning audience and also expanding your brand into different ways and avenues. So I feel like I'm tied, but I'm also, trying to like connect that since they are very much connected, especially within this day and age.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. I think I read a statistic. I'm not going to get the percentage fully correct, but it was around like 80% of people tend to kind of make their vendor shortlist before hopping on the phone with people, before
Mhm.
sometimes getting on a website or things like that, just by looking at social media. So that is a bigger thing. Kind of
Yeah.
hard to track and measure sometimes when those like leads come in. But yeah, I would agree on both of those as being important channels for sure.
Mhm.
We're going to switch a little bit into AI now, talking more about that. So, what is an AI use case that you think is actually working well in construction marketing today for your team, Tyler?
I think really when you look at it from a broad scope, things that really are more of a priority than anything else is trying to leverage your website. I think a lot of people are gung ho with social media, but everything like you mentioned, Cordy, reverts back to the website. That's your like your main hub. And so what I would tell marketers, leverage AI to help write script for your website. If you have an idea or some sort of connection that you want to reach within this region, even if it's simple as like, hey, write me a code for our locations on a map that we can scroll in and here's the legend that I want. Being able to do that with Claude or Claude, I'm very I like Claude a lot, probably more than Chat, but it's nice to go back and forth. So definitely writing code, I think, is very helpful. Stop wasting time on that. Use that to plug in, get your ideas across, and then go from there.
Awesome. Courtney, do you have any specific use cases? I know you've mentioned a few, but any other examples of how you're using AI?
Yeah, so I agree 100% with you, Tyler, about using AI for code for website. That's what I also do as well, and I will sometimes refer to them. But I will say, I use AI in a variety of different ways, and I use it especially within more social media because, once again, with all the AI integrations happening, I mean, you have to collaborate with it. So, with that being said, Sprout Social is a huge AI tool. It's a scheduling tool. So, you're helping, look at trends, look at data, and comparing and contrasting, what's doing well, what do people like where are people coming from, where is all this information generating from. So that is a platform that I love very much because it helps tell that back end story of okay, this is happening when the content gets posted. This is the best time to post your content. So instead of sitting down and trying to manually put everything together and then look at these blue charts to see when are people, active across the board, all of your content, all of your stuff is specialized to you and your account, all depending on, audience and feedback and everything from when your account starts to now. So I feel like that to me is a great tool to utilize and also help leverage better content to see, what's doing great and what's not, and also how to pivot as well. So you're not second guessing or guessing in general, which direction to take, which direction, because you're seeing the data points, you're seeing how the content's performing, and then you're also seeing, maybe like competitors out there too, or you're seeing people around your area as well. And like, getting all of that information to help you grow you and your brand.
We do have a quick question in the chat from that. Someone talked about other social scheduling options. What led you to go with Sprout? Just a quick answer here. We're running a little low on time, but
yeah, no worries. So I actually worked with Hootsuite many moons ago at a former job, and I thought it was okay. I mean, personally using it, I was, it was good, but it wasn't great. I wasn't thrilled. My standards are pretty high. So when it comes to a scheduling platform like Sprout, they met all of my standards. And I've been using Sprout for a while. And this when I got hired at CG Schmidt, they're automatically on Sprout before I got here. I was like, great, like we're all in this together. We all understand. And once again, Sprout is wonderful, and it does a great job at getting all that content, helping you as a marketer, and really pushing towards greatness when it comes to building and presenting your brand on social media.
Awesome. Yeah. So unfortunately, they went back quickly, and we're going to close out here, but this has been so awesome. I want to say thank you to Tyler and Courtney for sharing your expertise and your strategies. I'm going to drop their LinkedIn profiles along with mine in the chat. My manager do that. So feel free if you have additional questions. I know there's a lot to talk about with construction marketing. Feel free to reach out to us on LinkedIn. Tyler, I know, also is working on more construction tech. So if anyone has construction tech questions, Tyler's the go-to person for that as well. And then we'll be sending out a recording of the webinar later today. So if you want to look back over any of the responses or anything we talked about, you'll get a copy of that too. But thanks again, everyone, for joining, and have an awesome rest of your week.
Thank you all.
Thank you.